it I had. Bang, bang, your dad. You may think you have a shot to take me down. Victory's mine instead. Got my best fit on. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Are you ready for a fight?
Walk to the dance floor! We got a party going on! Overheat your feet! We're gonna rock their shit!
Bring on the wrecking machine, setting your dreams of heaven on fire. Bring on the wrecking machine. Bring on the wrecking machine. Gonna ignite your every desire. Bring on the wrecking machine. For every city you burn, let it burn, let it burn, let it burn, let it
Warp drive active.
Serious Slander Saturday.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Serious Slander Saturday, your one-stop shop for AUTZ news related to New Eden Post that is actually on while you're awake, and you don't have to watch it through a video. My name is Kale. I'm currently joined by Malachi of NC. Pretty soon I'll throw up the TR07 live stream from the fort to see if anything interesting happens. It comes out of Anchor in... Oh, it's going to be deployed in like 50 minutes. Topics for today is the Fortac H Dreadbomb from Snuff and Rote Capel straight in Fraternity's home, as well as the Venal war between NC. Or PanFam, I believe, and Boss. Not the good boss, because I'm in Black Omega Security, we're the good boss. I'm talking about the Brotherhood of Spaces. And the more is whatever else we end up talking about, possibly my hygiene, apparently someone's saying in the chat. So anyway, guys, welcome to the show. I hope you enjoy the next couple of hours. Malachi, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing real good, man. More importantly, is there pineapple on your pizza?
No, I got a pepperoni pizza from Domino's with double cheese and double pep.
Wow. Domino's. It's an interesting choice.
I needed something quick. And the pizza joints around us take about an hour to an hour and a half to deliver. I wanted something within 20 minutes, and it came within an hour. So, I should have gotten one of the good places.
Lessons learned.
Look, lessons learned. Guys, look, I did try to get some more people on here from Snuffed Out, as well as Boss and Rote Capel. Hopefully we'll have somebody from Fraternity jump on to have a talk about the Dreadbomb from their point of view. See what happens. Malachi is quiet. Malachi?
Am I quiet, or am I just talking quiet?
Yes. Alright, so give me a second. Let me knock up a...
What do I have to do to get my own avatar on the stream? That's what I want to know, Cal. How many times do I have to turn up?
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to hit up Redline for that. Because I don't actually know how he does it. He sets them up so they can be like Chromecast and everything, so they've got like the clear background. I'll definitely get you one though, dude. You're on here every bloody weekend. It's great.
I spend a lot of time and effort getting my avatar to look like Kanye West.
Ignore the... There we go. Alright guys, so this is the live stream from the TR07 Fortizar at the moment anchoring in Faith of Bolus. So this has been a very hot area at the moment. This is where Fire XIX has been pushing out RMC, the Red Medalist Coalition, with help from Test Alliance. We've seen NC down here, we've seen Horde down here, we've seen Fraternity. So this is Initiative's push. If we open up the map, there's going to be Initiative's push from Esoteria, where they're currently deployed. They've got a Keep Star in DTAC P. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So we'll stream that live. Gotta get the chat overlay up there. There we go. So that's going to be one of the topics of today. As I said, the other topic, which is the Fortac H Dreadbomb, for those of you who are not aware, Fraternity lost a Super and 2 Titans in Fortac H on the gate. So I'll give you guys a quick rough rundown of what I've heard was the story. Is they... what was it? They fleet invited the Nix. The Nix accepted the fleet invite. So they fleet warped him onto the gate and dropped 5 dreads on him. And then apparently, obviously, a fleet was called. They warped down. Apparently, they took a Titan down there, or 2 Titans warped to the gate. And then next minute, A lot more dreads from Snuffed Out, and Right Capel appeared, took out 2 Titans and a Super just before downtime, and are now hell-camped in the system. Man, Malachi, we're hearing that word a lot lately, aren't we? Hell-camped. Everything's hell-camped. We're hell-camped in MTAC 2. There was a hell-camp in RTAC K. Now there's a hell-camp in 4TAC H.
Yeah, I don't know what a hell camp is, to be honest. Bunch of nerds with too much time on their hands.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to lie, I really do feel like MTAC 2 was definitely a hell camp. I mean, you and I were leading fleets to pop those bubbles. For quite a fair bit. But, that was a hell camp, man. What was it, like fucking 400 bubbles, a whole bunch of supers, titans, and capitals, always online. Like, that was nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting event. Like hell camps for me go back to like stations and trying to lock everyone's assets into a station, so you're camping it non-stop. Like
yeah, bubbles on the undock.
Yeah, it's just that I guess that kind of gameplay disappeared, so it evolves into hell camping a spot in space.
Well, it's like the hell camps of old back on the the player-owned stations. You only really had to bubble one spot. There was no such thing as tether. You couldn't just move around to another spot of the structure. You couldn't PDS the bubbles off.
Yeah.
Also,
and like pauses and that kind of thing, like where the enemy super fleet's in that pause, so you hell camp
cage them in.
Yeah, that was the. Yeah, it's an interesting evolution. I don't know that I'd call this one quite a hell camp. Like I don't know if you've been on that grid and had a look or saw the breakout attempt today, but I'm not really sure that. Like a hell camp, you really need intense time zone coverage, and I'm sure Fraternity can keep it up for a day or two, but yeah, it's pretty like on that gate. And I don't think they can drop its structure where it is, which makes it even harder to kind of hell camp it properly.
Yeah, because I think it's pretty much on 0 at a gate. So I know the original Nix they warped off ended up slow boating and jumping through the gate. It was its separate Nix that warped down to try to whore on the kills that they ended up killing.
Yeah, there's a video on Reddit of it. I think that second one looked like it was in a bubble 100 off or something like that to me. But yeah, I don't know if you saw the breakout attempt today. It looked like a bloody fight, good brawl. I
woke up to the messages, but I slept through it.
Yeah, there was a BR. I think Snuff in it turned up to help Snuff try and break out by the looks of it.
Yeah, I heard there was a Horde Lokis or something as well. Or was it NC Lokis?
I think NC might have been in a very small Eagle fleet and was predominantly Fraternity. I didn't read the BR that hard apart from the dollar values. So like, I think it was like 60 to 35 bill. Snuffing in it lost 60 bill. Yeah, looked like a good fight. It's nice to see fights like that happening. Spontaneous capital fights are always the best.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Especially when it doesn't happen on a Citadel grid. I mean, that kind of thing doesn't happen on a Citadel grid, right? Like,
you try not to.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons I actually wanted to try to get you on for this, Malachi, was to ask you about what's happening in Venal with NC Dot.
In Venal, I am losing a lot of Hecates solo roaming through AUTZ. Is that what you're asking about, or is there something else?
Well, not that. Like the glassing of NPC, pushing boss out, the Fortizars getting destroyed, all that jazz. The quote-unquote, I wouldn't really call it a Venal war. A lot of people calling it the glassing of, Pan-Fam glassing of Venal. There's some other names out there. But yeah, I'm curious to know what's going on, what brought that on, the story behind it, if you've got any information.
I think it's predominantly content, right? I don't know that it's Pan-Fam. Like Horde hasn't deployed to help. I haven't really seen. I've been to a couple of the fights in USTZ and Horde aren't there, so it's not necessarily Pan-Fam.
PL's there.
Yeah, NCPL, which like at combined alliance numbers are not even Horde's numbers, right? So it's, I mean, Fraternity's there like helps when they've got some numbers in those other time zones, I guess. So I think the last fight I went to on Thursday or Friday was 330 people versus 300 over a final armor timer.
Was that the armor or the whole timer? For the Astra? I was there too.
Whole timer for a fort. Yeah, sorry. Test turned up with 70 people as well. So
yeah, we were there to have a bit of fun. We had about 90 with us.
Yeah, like 300 versus 300 ish, like give or take 30 people, right? I think it's a pretty decent fight, really. Considering like NCPL, like some of those numbers include carriers sitting on an Astra. So I think the other guys in subs maybe had the numbers. I was kind of just chilling, line membering that one. So
yeah, Bing chilling.
yeah, just cruising along, taking her easy.
It was an interesting grid. Like the Ishtars came in, dropped their drones, and then warped off and left system.
They didn't leave system. They came back at the end, but I mean, Ishtar's fighting on a fort grid that's running PDS when you're on that side's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I think the problem the other side had there was they didn't bring anything to engage directly. So when you bring Serbs are really effective when there's like a Munin fleet that you're supporting. You can just cruise around at range while the Munins try and sit a lot closer than the Serbs do. But if you're just bringing Serb fleets and full kiting, like Ishtar's trying to drop drones and burn away, you don't really have any staying power. You're kind of on the back foot the whole time. So, yeah, whatever those groups are doing to work together, they could probably coordinate their fleets a little bit better, I think.
Okay, so I'm dropping the battle report for the fight that we're currently talking about in Twitch chat. I've got so when I reached out to Boss and be like, hey guys, have you got anyone who wants to jump on, have it from their point of view, etc. I was basically directed to a Reddit thread. They would have loved to have hopped on, just not their time zone for their FCs and their leadership, and that's perfectly fine. Like, I hope those guys are sleeping well. So the Reddit post in general is called PanFam and Winterco pushes in on two Venal fronts. With the summary being, Venal's NPC region inhabitants lost 2 forts today as PanFam forces continue to glass its neighbouring NPC null region. So the first fight, which is not the fight that I was on, and I don't think you were because I think it was pretty early for the both of us, was owned by Out of Sight, OOS, and had minimal resistance. They had active gunning and bombs, and the PDS were used as the main tools employed by the defenders. Interesting note, due to a local storm, no cloaking was available for any observers or defenders, and it was attacked by PanFam and Winterco forces. Now, the AAR for the fight that we attended, that's the second Fortizar, it was owned by Boss, and PanFam met with resistance. A large portion of the defending fleet was augmented by former Pappy block members. Brave was there. I saw Shattered. I tried to bubble him, and the server was wigging out hardcore. Like, did you have much issues on that grid?
I didn't. I was there in an interceptor, just tackling like Serbs at the back of the trailer tiers, right? But yeah, people on our side were reporting issues, and I'm aware that the other side were reporting issues. But
I bubbled Shattered's fleet, and he warped out of my bubble after it was fully deployed. Like, the 4 bubbles on him, fully deployed, just warped out. I was like, okay. A large portion of the defending fleet was augmented. Yep. Brave, bringing in a Serb fleet with over 57 pilots. Good on you, Brave. Looks like you're slowly dying. But you're not dead yet. And Boss, who defended it with 45 pilots. RC, Provi, Null region members of Hero Coalition, and Dreadbomb also. Yeah, that was interesting. Seto was on the field.
Yeah. They were in the Tornadoes, right?
No, they were in Serbs and Ishtars. I believe that Dreadbomb was in Serbs. I burnt straight for Seto when my Saber. I'm like, Logi, lock me up. I'm going in. Just as I landed out of warp, because I pinged off to a Celestial that was in range with where they were burning, and I went up to, like, Carmen and Jeremy were leading the fleet. And I was like, how far are you from them? And they're like 70k. And I was like, all right, cool. So I warped to 100, landed within them, and just as I was about to bubble, they warped off to whatever they were aligning to. I was like, fuck. I was hoping to catch Seto.
Yeah. I mean, Serbs was a terrible, like, I'm just looking at the stats there, right? 165 Serbs versus 226 Munins. They had 34 Ishtars. Like, they had a lot of webs, but it's just such a bad counter to Munins.
I mean, they should have brought Eagles instead of the Serbs. I mean, we've fought the Serbs enough that we have overdrives, and we're like, all right, cool, fit overdrive, let's burn.
Yeah, perch out, warp on them.
Yeah.
Like the gameplay is very well known there when it comes to that kind of contest.
So according to the after action report, it was Declan Nollord's Volta came in with the tornadoes. So all in all, the defenders who came to Boss's call for aid were 307 on the battle report, plus the Fortizar's array of weapons, and the attacking PanFam group came with 333. A quick timeline review showed aggression was started on time by PanFam using the carriers, so as soon as it was, a couple of minutes left, burn fighters, props on, send the swarm. By the time all the defending fleets had arrived on grid, as multiple signers died trying to bring them in, and I'll bring this point back to the first Fortizar loss. There was a storm surrounding the constellation, which means you couldn't cloak, so it was rather hard for signers to get in the system. So by the time all the defending fleets arrived on grid, as multiple signers were dying trying to bring in the fleets, the Fortizar was already at 50%. There was a moment in which the server node froze, various pilots crashed from both sides, performance seems to have deteriorated when the Ishtars launched their Sentry drones, insert CC please here. Good fights were exchanged on both sides after the Fortizar died. So I'll link the after action, I'll link that Reddit post, guys. This isn't brigading, it was a really good after action report from someone on the opposing side of Boss, and to me it seems really non-judgmental, non-biased. It was throw me up, dude.
Is that from who wrote the thing?
User Alpha.
Yeah, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's not on the Boss side of things.
No, he was against Boss.
Yeah, but he writes really nice, neutral reports, which is good.
It is. It was a really good report. Yeah, it's non-biased.
Here's the question for you. At what point does a group of players become a block?
That is actually a good question.
When is a block not a block, and when is not a block a block?
I mean, I guess it comes to, can you defend your space against X? I mean, at what point does a block become a mega block?
Yeah, that's it. At what point does a solo roam become a small gang roam, and when does it? Yeah, like what's the? So I think one of the things I've seen commented on through this one is why is the block picking on the non-block? But I don't know. I'm just really curious as to that definition. Is it because you've got blue standings, or how would you pigeonhole what the difference is between a block or a group that can dial up 400, 300 friends?
Well, I guess having super and titan projection with the ability to either defend them or at least have them in your own system instead of having to use a Freeport would kind of make it a block to, like, Brave does not consider themselves a block at the moment. They don't consider themselves a null block, they just consider themselves a null alliance, and I guess one of the things that they can't do is have capital.
So it's like being a block or not is purely determined on whether you can own and defend a keep star.
Well, not even a keep. Oh, I guess, yeah. Whether or not because you need that keep star for yourself to be able to have a super and titan fleet, unless you're staging them out of poses.
I mean, that would make Siege Green in wherever low-sec a block, right? If that's the definition. I just find it a really compelling block. Okay, here you go. Luke's got it here. Coalition with the ability to field multiple fleets, mega block multiple coalitions, or something like that. Yeah. I don't know that. I think it's just like if you can bring a fleet to contest at the top. If you can bring a group of fleets to contest at the top end of the game, you're a block. Is my theory. Whether you want to call yourself that or not, but I'm happy to be corrected.
Yeah, like Luke's got a point. It is very subjective. Like, my view on what is a block, as I said, my view is if you got the power to be able to field supers and titans, defend them and stage them, that makes you a block. I think he's right with the mega block. Either you're a mega block if you're a coalition, or you're able to call on allies. Like Tess isn't in a coalition at the moment, but we can call on our friends to be like, hey, look, want to give us a hand with something?
That kind of like, and I'm just trying to like, I'm a real logic-based person, right? If you can, so what you like, you're not a block, but you can call enough friends to act like a block.
Yeah, I wonder where would that fall actually?
Like, I'm a definitions person, right? I just see there was a couple of Reddit posts from whoever it was from the boss side of things, having the woe is us getting picked on by the block, but it's like, well, you can call a lot of friends. That kind of makes you a block in my eyes. That's just me personally.
Were they able to field capitals though? Like, they were able to call friends, but they weren't able to field caps or supers or titans.
So a block is purely determined by the size of your balls to drop caps.
I maybe not the ability to the balls to drop them, but the ability to field them if needed is what I'm going to subscribe to.
So
hey Luke, how you doing?
Yeah, Luke. So just hear me out on this next step then. So if we aren't in Venal and they're dropping caps on someone who can't field them back, that would then make them a block and the other person not a block.
Well, if they were in your space, you'd be able to drop caps on them, right?
No, so say PanFam wasn't in Venal.
Yep.
And these guys can, then it enables them to drop their caps, right? They can drop their caps on the really small guys in Venal.
Mm-hmm.
Does that then make them a block, picking on the non-block group?
I mean, if it's just capitals, I'd say no, because any man and his dog. But if they can do it supers and titans, then I would say yeah, they are a mini block.
Yeah,
I think some of this comes down to whether or not you acknowledge you're a block or not, right?
Well,
I think to me the multiple fleet thing is kind of like, you know, if you look at like Winterco, right? So Winterco can form multiple fleets, but we acknowledge we're a block, right? Just like PanFam acknowledge they're a block. I think what Boss and friends are doing at the moment is acting block-like, in the sense, you know, they're ringing everybody and their mothers that will listen to them. So they're turning up like a block in terms of numbers, but they don't have that kind of command and control.
Yeah, but I've heard,
that's my distinction.
But I've read on, and this is purely just read on Reddit. Like, I read it on the internet, so it must be true. But complaining that they're getting picked on by a block. But if you can behave like a block, then surely it stands to reason that you are a block.
I think my distinction there would be is they don't form to, like, you know, Boss and Dreadbomb and everybody else they called don't form together like that regularly. It was a bat phone. So that's kind of like the first thing. But they were defending as like a block would defend. And the other thing is just narrative spin, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
That's what I'm getting at, right?
Work as well if they go, we're being beaten up by the block, but we're acting like a block ourselves.
No, exactly. That's what I'm kind of slandering at on a Saturday.
It's alright, it's still too early in the morning, so probably not picking up the nuance.
Yeah, it's big. I mean, because then you're like, if you're the big dog in Venal, picking on the little guys of Venal, and then a bigger dog who lives next door comes over and you start complaining about it, I really don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, my read of the Venal stuff is Rota trying to act like a block in terms of numbers and calling everyone will come, but it's really convenient to say we got beaten up by the block, right, when they lose.
Yeah.
It's almost a way of kind of going, oh, it wasn't our fault, the block did it.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like if you wanted to go and set up in NPC Delve and do the same thing and then complain when the block that lives there stomps your face in.
Are you saying that EVE Online has a history of victimization? No. News at 10.
Size of what tainted orphan is what I would ask that question.
Our chord with allies is in relation to Slander.
So to me, I think for me it always works. Like if you can field multiple fleets that are kind of relatively self-autonomous from within one coalition, that's where I stick it at block, basically.
Look.
It's not super scientific, right? It's not like it's 250 or it's 100 or 150. It's the theoretical capability to be able to go, right, we have a bombing wing that are bombing independent, we have a hack fleet that is doing things independently, and we have a cap stroke super cap wing that is ready to come in, you know, dependent on subcaps but still independent. I mean, you can't put like an exact number on that, but to me that makes it, I think that's like what I would define a block as. And then mega block, like I think is kind of easy, right? That's just where one or more of those coalitions come together, kind of like, you know, Panda Fam or Imperial Legacy.
Yeah, Imperium, Panda Fam, stuff like that. Taint, get your ass onto the stream so we can have a discussion between the two sides of the 4 TAC H Dreadbomb, because everyone else I've talked to has said no.
Is Taint Snuff or Rote?
He's Rote.
Okay, cool.
I think. I don't know. That's when he logs on, I guess.
I mean, hopefully if he comes, there'll be someone that actually know what was going on. I kind of was working and then my Discord went mental.
You jumped your nag out of Pochfin, Jesus.
You've still got a Titan there, tainted, don't you?
Is it the...
Or did you jump the Titan out as well?
Yeah, so Luke, do you want to give us a quick rundown on what happened in 4TAC H? All I've currently got at the moment, when I went into the Rote Capel Discord, I was like, hey guys, can you tell me what's going on? I got told, fuck you for trying to bubble our fleet and then post a Michael Jackson moonwalk when they tried to lock me up and I walked off. And a Wollywart, which I will read. I told them I'll read it. A Wollywart after action report that reads more like some kind of fan fiction.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely fan fiction, right? Yeah, so I'll give my side of it, although it's not like the full details because I wasn't on grid the entire time. But
yep.
Based on from my understanding, a super got dropped on by 3 or 4 nags. There's currently up in the air whether that was kind of like a baited drop rather than, you know, the super was at no risk to try and force on escalation on our side. I think that's still a bit of an open question, and I haven't really looked into it. Then 2, if I was going to spin it, I'd call them Chads, but I'm not going to. Idiots decided to warp their Titan. Well, we formed a fleet. One Titan got caught in a fleet warp down to the gate, and he shouldn't have been there. He should have been exempt from fleet warp by undocking. And then another Titan, I believe, warped down to the gate off their own volition. Then all of a sudden, you know, kind of shocked Pikachu Dreadbomb, quite a large Dreadbomb that no one was expecting. You know, 7 minutes before downtime. Titans just melted under the alpha. There's 85 dreads, right?
Yeah.
Titan's not going to really hold unless it's got all of his facts already set up on grid, and even then it's probably going to be pretty difficult. We kind of raged bubbles down there. I know I logged in like 3 minutes before downtime. The grid was already like super bubbled up with just Sabres and Hicks. Downtime struck. We kind of started poking all the FCs ahead of time to make sure that the moment downtime is over, get down there in Sables, get down there with bubbles, start anchoring bubbles literally in the spot where the Titans died.
Yep.
Because they were pretty much at 0 on the dreads, right? Which is also a really bad place to be.
I mean, Fraternity has a bit of a history with Titans at 0 on dreads.
And keep stars.
And keep stars.
Not
that was
warping
to,
so
keep stars.
Yeah, so we kind of bubbled it up. They kind of logged off, left it. I think it's about, last time I checked, my count is it's about 75 to 85 dreads stroke carriers on that point on grid. There might have been a couple that maybe got in just before downtime or just after downtime before people logged back in properly and got lucky, but it's probably a fair few there. It's probably still about 600 bills worth of dreads by my count. Yeah, so we could kind of gate camped all day. Then it got to last night. Saw a bit of intel that Snuff were forming TFIs in Rakapass, and then saw a very mysterious ping from Init forming a you can't catch up fleet under Dark Shines, which is, you know, code name for we're taking a wormhole to somewhere.
Yeah.
Especially when it's Dark Shines, right? If it's like Pando, it's like, yeah, okay, it's just like a whaling expedition.
Yeah. No.
When Dark pings, you kind of see it. So I kind of forwarded it across, because I was out for dinner, and forwarded it across and went, okay, I think this is coming this way. And it did. We had a brawl. None of the caps were extracted, and Snuff got chased to P3N in their TFIs. Then they safe logged in space, I believe. And to be fair, we screwed up with probes, so they managed to log back in and get back out of P3N. But you know, it's fine. It was a Friday night.
So I saw
and those caps will remain bubbled.
So how long can you camp the spot?
I mean, it's in our staging system, right? So probably pretty, like, as long as we want to, we can probably continue to camp it. You do get to a point though when you look at it and go, we've got other things we want to kind of do, and staring at this spot in space is kind of boring. But at the same time, if they want to try and do a breakout attempt every day, then, you know,
yeah, content on your doorstep.
What we're gonna want is content coming straight to our doorstep, you know.
Yeah. I guess a real breakout will be when your attention's focused somewhere else, and they go, now's the...
I mean, that's when I would have done it, right? I don't think I would have tried to have done it last night if it was me.
No, when it's red hot, right? Like...
But yeah, the real question is, though, was did someone decide to jump in, or was it a group decision to jump in and get hell camped?
I assume it was a group decision. I mean, they've done it before, right? They have done it before and managed to extract.
It was an M2 joke.
And that was a learning exercise for us. No, I know.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you know, it's not super unusual for them.
Yeah, those dreads are dead. You just treat them as dead the second you jump them, right? That's the whole...
Yeah,
getting them out's a bonus.
The only thing that's interesting, I'm looking at what Tainted is saying, and I'm assuming the rote ones probably are. I am aware that there are definitely some mains in those caps. They're not all olds. I don't know what the proportion of that is, but I know there are a couple of mains.
I did see so someone messaged me a cheeky snippet of a ping from Norris saying that your CNTZ FC team has had a bit of a reshuffle. Some people have been removed after the incident.
That one I couldn't comment on, partially because it probably happened overnight and I haven't just woken up and haven't caught up with it all yet.
Yeah, fair enough. According to the... I'll continue.
NC purged a corp for doing a similar thing, right? A little ways back, notoriously, some people did some silly things like that, and
were they a bunch of sinners?
Nah, well before them. Sinners aren't the first bunch of cunts we've dealt with, so.
But yeah, it is possible. As I say, I'll catch up with that over the next couple of hours, because the way Frat and the way Winter Code from a military kind of structure works is, while we kind of come together, we operate our hierarchies relatively autonomous from each other, at least from like an FCing perspective. Mm-hmm. Just because, you know, there's different cultural elements, so it kind of makes sense.
Well, the snippet I got is the CNFC team is also getting a reshuffle because of this. They have let me down. We are temporarily removing the corp until it's resolved.
Can you DM me that? I'm curious. It saves me going to find it.
Can't, because then you know how it is with all that stuff. Someone sent it to me. If I send it to you, then you can use it to backtrace who they got it from. And
oh, fair enough.
Yeah, so I would, dude. You know I would, but I wouldn't get these people to send me stuff.
Is it in English or Chinese?
English.
Oh, okay.
Might be a translation. I'm not sure.
DM it to me, Kale, and I won't DM it to Luke.
I mean, it looks like it would look like, you know, losing the Titans aside, losing the Super aside, because I heard that the first Super that they warped off actually ended up burning to the gate and jumping through. It was a different Super Nix that warped in and got caught. Like, it's good to see some content, and I've got to give it to Snuff. A lot of the Snuff guys I've met are pretty dicky, but the fucking... It wasn't even from you, Taint. That wasn't even yours, thank you. The Snuff had balls to do this in your fucking staging system, like... Hey, let's Dreadbomb a couple of Titans in fraternity staging system. What could go wrong?
It's not the first time, and it definitely won't be the last
No.
time.
No.
We got DDD had a Titan Dreadbombed in Pure Blind like 2017. Jumping twist. Knew the hunter ult
Staging
was.
systems are one of those weird ones,
Yeah.
right? Because you can't jump to them.
Remember,
Yeah.
Goons Dreadbombed a Titan on the T5Z Keat stuff, for fuck's sake. Between the goalposts. Oh, that was spicy. Alright guys, we've got about 18 minutes left until this Fortizar comes out, so it's going to be interesting. How the hell do I have an... Oh, okay.
Which fort's this?
This
I've
is
not been
in
keeping an eye on stuff.
TR07. This is the
So
Faith the
there's-
Bolus to Esoteria regional.
So there's 350 people in local, and I assume they are all in it.
And they appear to all be in the caps jumping into the X-TAC-7. Dreadbomb, where are you? Snuffed. Let's go. There is currently the initiative
I mean,
a capital fleet, Dreads, Faxes, Carriers, jumping through from X-TAC-7 Esoteria through the regional gate.
I would boast in that with 4 Titans and quite happily lose the Titans and kill their whole cap fleet.
Alright guys, I'll try to get you a D-scan at the moment. I'll throw it up onto the screen.
No bubbles to stop you warping in. Oof.
138. 62 carriers, 40 dreads, 13 faxes, and various other odds and ends. D-scan is in the Twitch chat. So for those who are wondering, so Initiative is staging in Esoteria now. They're staging from...
Sorry, they're staging in Faith the Bolus now by the looks of it.
Oh yeah, apparently. I mean, it is within jump range, if I remember correctly. We used to have a jump bridge from here. It's not like a... Okay, yeah, no, never mind. That is a bit too big. I think... Yeah, I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen jump bridges in Esoteria. So, yeah, as you can see, we got Esoteria over here. So, X-TAC-7 is the regional from Esoteria to Faith the Bolus. They've dropped a fort down last night. It's anchoring in about 15 minutes, I think it was. And it looks like they are jumping their capital fleet into... Yeah, it looks like they're jumping the cap fleet into TR07. So this is going to be interesting to see what actually happens. You know, is this the beginning of a deployment into Faith, or is this just a power projection, you know?
Does anyone care what happens in Faith?
I mean, and let's be
Some
honest,
kind of
I can
deploy
predict
down
what's
there.
going to happen with this fort when the anchor timer happens. Literally nothing. It's, you know, it's 10:38 Eve time.
No, you would have seen all the pre-pings and know it's happening
Yeah,
by now or
exactly.
not, right? Like, it's just...
Fights against that sort of number don't like happen without
Yeah,
everybody knowing they're
like-
about to happen, right?
I wouldn't have even bothered taking my cap fleet through there, right? Like, you're just wasting people's time at
I
this
mean, the only
point.
reason to do that is if they're planning to dock them up in that fort once it onlines.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna sit here and they're gonna cry blue balls, and they're gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, test and fire didn't form. You know, they didn't call Horde and NC and PanFan, boo-hoo. Blue balls, drop nuts, Paspy, rah rah rah." Considering the last couple of forts we fought on has been uncontested, like.
Now, what I'd like to see is like, I don't know, 15 Titans with lances.
Yeah, I'd be boasting
I
in that.
miss lances.
Yeah, I'd love to see that that Titan boson attempt that they did on the Horde supers. That'd be great. Just warp in, blap them, fuck off. In local, so Alterari Phoenix, one of the Goon Swarm Federation SCs, is in local. So I, just dragged his name to local. I'm like, "You awake?" Someone's response is, "Of course he is. There is no fight to be had, so he appears to take credit for the win."
Mhm.
Other than that, like, I'm actually kind of happy the 4-tack H Dreadbomb happened because it's been a really, once again, this is like the second, third slow week in a row for New Eden. There's not much is happening at the moment, really. There's been a couple of skirmishes.
What are you on about? Nothing is. There's loads happening at the moment.
Okay, enlighten me.
I mean, I know, like, Kel, you know, you a combination between, like, the south, where you're blue balling everyone, or Outer Passage, but there's quite a lot going on.
Yeah.
You know, you got the Dreadbomb, which, I mean, that's isolated, right? But then there's quite a lot going on in, you know, the Venal stuff. I think there's, like, a continuous stream of content, right? It's not...
We talked about Venal before
like,
you jumped
the war
on.
sort of content.
Right, we talked about the Venal stuff before you joined us. Oh, where are they warping to? They're headed towards Sun.
Coming to NS. They're coming to NSI, surely.
There's no gate over that direction that I can...
This is where you bubble half their fleet and they fucking stress the fuck out for the next hour.
Some are jumping out.
Yeah, a lot of them are jumping out, yeah.
And where was that one hero dictator pilot just to waterboard them and make life miserable? Where were you, Kale? That's your job.
Well,
Maybe, I
apparently,
think it's about 70, 75 dreads.
apparently my dictator was running around just trying to bubble the rote Capel fleet in Venal, even though I was trying to bubble anything that moved.
So, Luke, you might be able to enlighten me on something else.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
I only have I have a decent understanding of why we are in Venal, but I don't have any understanding over who the groups in Venal are, and like that block question's semi-loaded because they all look like they work with each other to some degree, but they're not a block, and the level of these people working with them stretches around a fair chunk of the map. Like,
so I think a lot of it goes.
You can trace it like they work with the guy next door to them who work next door with the guy next door to them who works with the guy next door to them when it suits them. And I'm just curious where that line stops.
So I think like the progenitor of that particular group of people that work together was when Frat moved into Vale and Tribute, right? You had the whole Free Men of the North kind of thing in Tribute.
Yeah.
That very shortly lived meme that was like 3 Reddit posts and then promptly disbanded really quickly. So you've got a small number of groups there, so people like Boss Alliance, Arcos Corps, and then they would call people like Dreadbomb to come and help them, and RC to come and help them. Right? That's the, we're not a block, but we're against the big block.
We form Volta. Like I know they hold it.
Volta are part of that. Snuff because it's a fight.
But you must have some sort of deal with Volta, not just to annex their space.
I mean, there are obviously conversations about us not just like marching into debt,
steamrolling it, right? Yeah. I was just roam through there.
I wouldn't
last
go as
night,
far as saying it's like an agreement, right? It's just one of those kind of you can't overextend. So what's the point?
Yeah, you got no interest in it, but yeah, it's just so so Boss and those guys will work with Volta on occasion.
Boss will work with absolutely anybody that will come and help them.
Okay.
There are a number of people that I'm sure, including people in your side of the fence, that have got those particular receipts about them pointing out quite actively that they've backphoned everybody in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it. I mean, there's slightly a chance of winning, right? So I would do the same thing. I mean, let's be really clear, right? I have no, I don't do the kind of propaganda spin of, you guys are just trying to be a block. It's like, no, you're trying to defend your fort. I'd do the same thing.
Yeah.
You can argue whether that's a good mentality for the game as a whole, right? But I get it.
It's the way the mechanics work, and what we've all learned over the years is the mechanics are what they are, and complaining about the mechanic doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah. And with the lack of, to Kel's point, with the reduced level of content in the game, if that's your opportunity to go and get into a fight, why wouldn't you go and help them? You have a vested interest on either side, right?
Yeah, we did it. I mean, did it for years where it was just like people would, when I was super active, right? People get in touch with me and go, I've got this Astra and Lowsec that some group's going to turn up to, and you're like, sweet, I'll get a wormhole and come and do the dance. But yeah. But I guess it's just how far around that side of the map can you, like, it's an interesting one, right? Like, at a geopolitical level, right? Of going, there's stuff happening here and here, and if you've got no one next to you because they're blue, you've got to go and shoot someone to keep your member base active. And yeah, if the people are got assets right next to you that are valuable and you can rip a 4 bill core out of it, why don't you go rip it out?
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of, like, as I understand it, a lot of the stuff in Venal, boss have like handed out ships to people that have come to help them.
Okay.
I mean, that might not be 100% correct, but I've certainly seen some of that happen, right? So if you can get like 5 dudes in the shuttle and then go and, you know, get some sacks or some serves off them, why wouldn't you do it? You know, just to get a bit of it's a low risk fight, right?
Yeah, I mean, they can ask me. I'll take a serb off your hands.
I'm just reading the other block comment. I think some of the part of the block thing is also standings. People might not consider themselves a block if they don't keep blue standings. Maybe. I mean, I can say this now. Like, Winterco as a coalition has very few blue standings outside of Winterco. Like, NCPL, I think, is the only set of standings outside of Winterco that we have.
What about Horde?
No, we're reset to Horde.
I know.
Everyone knows we reset Horde.
No.
Yeah, you guys are even neutral with tests, where half the time we're like, shoot fraternity on shot site, the other half the time we're like, don't shoot fraternity.
I do agree with what Tate said. Yeah, you don't have to have blue standings to be a block.
Yeah. Would you, Tate, would you classify Road as a block?
Is Rote part of a block?
Well, they're a part of the CFC, the Counter-Frat Coalition.
Counter-Frat Coalition, apparently. Fucking hilarious.
I mean, they don't see that. I get yelled at when I mention that. You know, they're not in a coalition. They are just a group of individual people who are defending Pochvan from the...
I mean, come on. We're an alliance that lost to Komodo because he warped to a gate to shoot a Tempest. I mean, if you need to form a coalition to like fight us, I think you've got bigger problems.
So you're a block in one type of space, but not another type of space, right? It just gets better and better.
Well, I guess you could say like Hard Knocks is a J space power block, but you know, if they moved out of J space into K space, they wouldn't really be that powerful.
Yeah, and actually, I think I'd say the same thing tainted to Snuff, right? I think Snuff are a block when you talk about low-sec entities. Yeah. That just doesn't translate between low-sec and null-sec, right?
They're a threat in null-sec, but they aren't a block in null-sec, no. I mean, the fact they're able to drop Titans drop Dreads on your Titans in your staging shows that they are a threat to null block.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, definitely not a powerhouse in null, though. Oh no. When were you in Snuff, Tainton? But looks like we got 6 more minutes, and Initiative has dropped another Fortizar in TR07.
Yeah, that's... like, I'd understand if they dropped a Keepstar, right? But...
So I'm being told that the fleet that we saw, the Dreads, I think it was, that warped out. Someone saw their Dreads warp. Apparently they're shooting an ANSI. They're not even shooting a Fortizar. They're shooting a fucking ANSI at the moment with their cabs. So good job, Initiative.
Can't shoot a fort because your shit will die, right?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're running B-52s with fax support, yeah. Even then, it's spicy, and you need good pilots who don't warp their Titans to a gate and to a Dreadbomb. But sorry, I had to run that little jab in there.
Alright, I'm reading some screaming post on Reddit at the moment.
Oh yeah, which one?
Oh, it looks like something happened last night, and BJK got a bit wound up with someone, and yeah, it's all blown up on Reddit.
BJK doesn't get wound up. I call that one bullshit. He is the most happy, nicest person.
He does. Mid-op, he does. Mid-op, he does. Right.
Okay.
If you're, and I get it. I understand it. If you're doing something, and you're trying to run a fleet or you're trying to run an op, you know, there's a lot of things you have to consider, like just from like the security of your own fleet perspective.
Yeah.
And it looks like somebody dropped something last night, and some harsh words were exchanged. Some gamer words were exchanged.
Ooh.
Let's say.
The gamer words. Ooh.
Yeah, Tainted BJK does get stressy. I mean, I think most people FCing like at a certain level are going to get stressed out at certain things.
I've never heard BJK get angry.
I mean, it's not super common.
Alright guys, well look,
But that's what I mean. Outside of fleet is fine, right? So
I'm gonna read from that Reddit thread because I apparently this is Rote Capel's official response when I went to their Discord. I was like, hey, does someone want to jump on? They're like, read the Wallywatt explanation, you won't do it. And, well, fuck you, I will.
If you've read it, I'm leaving.
yeah, don't read his erotic fan fiction, please. And I'm sure you'll just isn't that like against terms of services or something?
Yeah, I'm DMing Redline right now.
Alright, I'll go through the highlights. Just to give
read
you
the
an
comments.
idea.
The comments will be way better. Like, fuck the post, read the comments.
I just love the whole Russian entropy and the power of anal. It's like, this is an erotic fan fiction. Okay, so to give you an idea of just, guys, go read it. It's fucking fantastic. One comment is, this is on par with the This Is Eve trailer. CCP should show this at the next expo. You had me at artistic goatsy filled with stars. Well written, well played. There's some really good ones. Yeah, just go read it, guys. It is actually a really massive. It is a massive post. It is well worth a laugh. I am a degenerate and nothing really phases me. Apparently my friends in stream aren't as degenerate as I am. Here's the battle report for that 4TAC H fight linked in chat. So 290 Fraternity versus 172 Snuffed Rote, well, CFC. 292 billion lost by Fraternity, mainly in an Erebus, an Avatar, and a Nyx, and a bunch of Dreads. 63 bill lost in a couple of Dreads from Snuff. Like, it's... do you, by any chance, Luke, do you have a running battle report for that?
I could probably find one somewhere.
It'll be interesting to see how it shifted with the breakout this morning. So I woke up to all the messages.
I don't think it shifted too much. I think it added like 62. Sorry, which added 32 to our loss, 62 to theirs. That's the numbers I saw.
It's because everyone wants to shoot your tank.
Okay, yeah, so we lost 37.8 on that breakout. They lost 62.4.
Okay, so that it doesn't really tip it too much in the favor of one or the other with the Titan losses. Thanks,
Not
scarcity.
really, no.
Alright guys, we've got 1 minute until the Fortizar. There is currently 281 in local. So guys, the reason everyone is neutral to me is I'm streaming on my neutral account. I've joined the New Eden Post Corp, so that way people stop trying to shoot me instantly because they're like, oh look, he's set red because he's an FC, kill him.
If anyone thinks you're an FC.
Oh no, right, it involves me logging on. There we go. So I've set initiative red, and as you can see, it's... Locally is just full of initiative at the moment, 281. They had a cap fleet, about 160 caps. That's most of them have left. There is an Astra house over here that they are sitting on at the moment. They've got a couple of faxes, a Dread. So I'm going to guess initiative has an eagle fleet, judging from the eagles. There's even a Rorqual. Mate, what are you doing, bro? You're sitting here mining in the system while there's a fort going down?
That's how you drop the other fort.
Probably.
I want to see the freighter turn up and then keep Stargate down.
Oh, God.
If you had balls, that's what you'd be doing in it.
Drop a keep. Invade outer passage about it.
I'm going to drop a fort off my fort. Look at me go.
I mean, they got war bonds to pay off, Malachi, you know? They've, they got SRP that they need to do.
I'm really interested why you drop a fort off a fort, unless it's like to transfer it to someone else, or
Not sure.
is one like, is that right on the gate, the other one?
Yeah, so this one... No, not... Fucking... Go that way. Yeah, so the first... The Astra and the Fort are about 1,000 off the X7, and this one's like another 1,000 off the other fort. Like, yeah, I understand the first fort is are, but I don't really understand the second.
Yeah, I'd be quite happy for someone from Init with 2 brain cells to tell me why they do that, but it's beyond me to figure out.
Alright guys, so core has been put in, it is now repairing. It's got 14 minutes on the repair.
Are you going to live stream this grid until the other fort online's?
Fuck that, because I think it's gonna be like 23, yeah, it's another 24 hours. Downtime in 3 minutes. Oh, I don't understand. Like, yeah, the 2 forts. I mean, they might transfer it, like, maybe, but to who in this region? Unless they're gonna give it to, like, RMC, Red Menace Coalition. Like, I don't understand. Like, I wouldn't give it to the Imperium. Why would they need to? When goons have the ability to...
Yeah, maybe it's... you just put RMC on the ACL for this one if they need to use it, I don't know.
Really? They're ratting. They're going to a site.
Get those ADMs up, lads.
What are the ADMs at the moment? They've already got level 3 military index. I think they put this down a few days ago, and it's already at 3. Not even a few days ago, looking at Strat index. Although, I do have to say, Initiative, love the name of the Fortizar, AUTZ is the best TZ.
Only if you can find content.
Well, there's always content where you guys are.
Well, that's true. You can always come to Vale.
Yeah.
Gladly shoot you.
Invade Vale about it.
Is there anything time for AUTZ in that area I can shoot, Luke? Or have you guys... Like, even the Russians even their Russians time their stuff for, like, USTZ to avoid you guys.
Like outside of Vale?
Just anything, like anything within tickety-boo of Venal, right?
You might find some stuff down in like Pure Blind, I guess, like Bandlog sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's a long way away.
It's not that far from Venal. It's like Venal and then cut the corner of Tribute, basically. I'm trying to think what else there'd be. No, I think. To be honest, I think a lot of the entities are USTT, right? So I think Volta are timed to EU, a lot of their stuff. And I think most stuff in Pure Blind is, with the exception of toilet paper, is going to be timed to US, like Brave and stuff. What I did find interesting this week, actually, I know you might have discussed it on the Tenal thing, was Brave turning up to Boss's bat phone. I think that's a bold move.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta have some content somewhere, though, right? That's
Oh, I agree.
But yeah, we're not a block. Like, oh, that's getting close to a block.
Yeah, I just wasn't expecting to see a BR with Brave turning up. I thought their whole thing at the moment was about keeping their heads down.
What I want to know is why we're doing your dirty work for you, Luke.
Nothing to do with me. I can honestly say we did not trigger this event. I think you guys were just bored, from what I understand.
Why can't you guys keep the doorstep clean? Why do we have to sweep the step?
The doorstep was completely fine until you decided to shit all over it.
NC's got a habit of shitting all over good things.
To be honest, I'm actually really, like, on a serious note, I'm actually really happy to see NC out doing something on a deployment. I suspect you guys were kind of a bit stir crazy for a while.
It's pulled Malachi out of his self-imposed exile.
And look at me, I'm flying a stiletto in Hecates. It's yeah, I think NC, I can probably, my corp is like a PvP with consequences corp, right? We're not really interested in mining, we're not really interested, it's the serious business stuff, and we will hibernate, ring the bell, do this, and it's just, yeah, there's no serious stuff whatsoever going on at the moment. So yeah, NC had to do something. Like, you can only wait for something serious for so long, I guess.
Yeah, and I think, like, anything like World War B2 levels, you know, you're at least 3 years off that sort of thing again, especially in scarcity, right?
I think Tainted made a comment, like, Tainted for what he is.
Send it to me, Taint, and I'll link it.
Well, it's just his comment, like, scroll up a little bit, his comment on waiting for Citadel changes and fucking off Skynetting fighters. And I think that's
something we all want. Like, even the people who use this, like, all the time want it.
Well, I had that conversation with whoever the Goon FC was, who's, I can't remember, Pyro? No, not.
Was it either Cryo or Luke?
Cryo, yeah. Cryo is like, they should bring out a ship that specifically counters fighters. And it's like, they should just fuck off Skynetting fighters, right? But the second that happens, the game changes dramatically. And I suspect my betting instinct would be that Delve, like World War B3 or whatever name you want to give it, kicks off shortly after a change like that comes along. It's not really a 3-year thing. It's either they come up here, or I doubt we go down there within the next 2 to 3 years, but they certainly come up here once the mechanics are favourable. Much more favourable to the attacker.
See, I'm not anti-skynetting fighters. I'm anti-low-risk skynetting fighters. So, like, what you guys are doing with, like, Astra houses, maybe the answer there is you don't allow capital tether onto medium structures.
Yeah, that's something you could do.
So you can still Skynet with a fort, right? Like a siege fort, but at least the siege fort is a non-inconsequential value asset. You need
to drop the money. You need to put up the high risk for the high reward, you know?
It doesn't solve the problem, right? Like, it blocks. It makes
we'll just drop a fort at that point,
it's
right?
Zero different. Like, we're dropping forts anyway. Like, it's not the Skynetting to kill shit, it's just the immunity that you're at in that situation. Like,
what are the Eden Com ships like against fighters? Like the Eden Com battleship? I've never tried it. I'm just curious about how the fighters end, like, depending what you're doing, right? The fighters end up too spread out. So even if you're shooting a fort, they're all over the place. If you're just in orbit at that point, right? Yeah. If you can afford to take an Eden Com fleet, you can afford to, like, you're better off taking a Eagle fleet or something, right?
Like, I know that Horde tried it out during the Delve War, and they had success when they were Skynetting them to the gate, because, yeah, they're in a blob. But the problem is trying to source the ships and the skill books to be able to be effective. They are very effective, it's just, it is fucking annoying and hard to get that many, like, Eden ships of Auton specialization books.
Yeah, but my understanding is the whole point of the damage mitigation on fighters was to stop them all getting smart bombed to death, and lol, now you've got no fighters, right? That's the whole point of having the damage restriction on them, is that, and Skynetting's the problem, but having this thing that you can project, you know, you can project out to how far? 10,000 kilometers.
Yeah, something crazy like that.
It can alpha you can't alpha it. Plus, if you alpha the fighter, they just get another fighter out of the supply of fighters next to them on the Citadel that's tethered up, right? Yeah, like, there's just like, the whole thing's retarded.
I mean, we've done it before. We've had Carmen when we've been bashing the keep styles for people who lose their fighters because they get them too close, sitting there with like a fighter truck and be like, cool, how many do you need? All right, cool, yep. Transfers, open up your hangar, here you go.
Yeah. It's like, it's bizarre to me that every other ship, like a Titan, can't shoot past 300 kilometers. You've got to fucking, yeah, it's just bizarre.
Bring back the through a Sino grid wide DD.
Yeah, remote DDs, bring them back.
Like, let everything shoot to 10. Like, if one thing can shoot to 10,000 Ks, everything should be able to shoot to 10,000 Ks. It's just
I mean, if a
device.
goddamn rat can lock me, web me, and scram me, and shoot me from 2,500 fucking kilometers away on a gate, then goddamn it, let me be able to do the same thing, please.
Yeah, but there's quite a well-known reason for that, right?
Because rats are broken.
No, there was a reason to do with... I'm sure I read something about it. It's to do with server performance. If all the rats have to do like distance checks, it just cripples everything.
Well, there we go, CCP. Stop us doing distance checks and your servers will run better. Give us unlimited range. We're in space. Bullets don't stop. They don't have a range. It's velocity. It's an object at motion will stay at motion until it's met by an opposing force or whatever the heck the Newton's law of motion and relativity is. We're shooting lasers. It's light. There's nothing that should disperse them. So lasers should still be able to keep going.
We're all flying submarines, really, right?
Yeah, torpedoes, bro. Laser torpedoes.
But I think the second they address citadels, I think, and this is the thing, they address citadels and the game either changes for the better or it just, keeps crawling along.
So what would you change with them?
I think it's, for me, and I know I can get into, like, random idea number 5052, but it's defining the objective, right? Defining what your goal is for the design of the thing. And for me personally, the design of Eve is it needs to be way faster and way more dynamic. And not in the sense of like Imuna needs to be going 5,000 meters a second, but the landscape needs to change rapidly. Because that then changes everything immensely. That you should, like, solve should change really quick, and there should be a bonus to having the solve that makes it worth it. Like, I don't know.
So I still think you should be penalised for like how much soft you've got. Controversial.
Well, they used to. I mean,
someone in front.
Well, they used to do that, right? With the escalating solve cost. For every system you held, it goes up, but then you just break it into different.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, it used to exist, right? But
well, no. The Fortizars changed its name from AUTZ Best TZ to Do Not Use, and the new Fortizar that they've put down is Fuel Cartel Expansion Zone F.
God. So there must be transfer. Yeah,
I assume it's a transfer. I think the thing with the escalating costs, I think the problem is there's so much ISK sloshing around as well that it's kind of irrelevant.
Well, it's not. And what people do is I'll just start a holding alliance that holds that region and start another holding alliance that holds the other region.
Yeah, I think the only way you can get around that though is because I personally I would like to see two changes, right? One to all of the the flex structures, the beacon and the jump bridge, where like you can have ACLs but only your alliance can take them. Like you can never ACL out.
No, I've got a better I've got the best retarded idea.
Oh, here we go, guys. Welcome to the weekly. Is it smart or is it retarded?
Is it smart or is it retarded? An escalating cost per pilot that you have blue or have a standing with. So whether it's positive or negative, even like if you want to have 50,000 people blue, it's going to cost you immensely.
The problem is, like, Eve players are smart, right? And they'll just move all of their standings into an outside tool. And yeah, there'll be more like.
But then I can shoot
blue on blue in inverted commas.
Then I can shoot. like PL's ratting supers, right? Like,
Oh, sorry.
And-
they
I
were red on my
check,
end.
Sorry.
I checked my spreadsheet.
sorry, the tool must have been broken. Like, overview though.
I want to answer just that one question about the why wouldn't they wide out into one mega alliance, and just because I think this is like in the comment about like not allowing outside of alliance ACLs on jump bridges, it's because people are proud of their own alliances. You know, there's a level of pride that you have when you build an alliance, and you don't want to just wide out.
Yeah, but also, I mean, as a solution to that is your costs. Like someone in your alliance is blue or purple to you, right, and still has a cost. So if you want to run an alliance that's got 30,000 people in it, it gets prohibitively expensive. Like, I don't know. There's got to be ways to make, and this doesn't solve the fast dynamic thing. Like I found playing New World interesting in the sense that towns can change hands really fucking quickly, and that is like there's only regions, right? There's like 7 regions, and ownership of those regions changes in 24 hours.
It's kind of why it's kind of part of the reason why I like my holding space. The more space you have is harder kind of concept, right? So like in my head, and this is probably a really retarded idea, if you could deal with the moving around space thing, right, whether that's fatigue or not allowing jump bridges outside of your alliance or the rest of that, is the further away a system is from your capital system, the kind of weaker the ADM infinitely becomes, kind of like think like an information network sort of thing. So you could get to
like
systems that were
Stellaris.
like yeah, see, I've never really played Stellaris, but if I've heard similar to that's what it does, right? So you end up with systems that are so far away that it only has one reinforcement cycle. You don't ref the iHub, right? It just dies if you kill it because it's not strengthened by being near the capital, and it just becomes really unpalatable to hold these large swathes of space as long as you can deal with the movement problem, right? If you deal with the movement problem, then it's really hard to defend those like fringe regions.
But you still have to make it attractive for someone else to establish there, I guess. And I think what I'd love to is just change that dynamic. And I know Tainted's again space hoarder, but if you get enough value out of being owning that space, like we shouldn't have been able to sit in Dell for 12 months and not lose a single system in the north. That's just pants on head retarded, right? And it's because it's not dynamic and fast enough that can't just flip this thing.
I see what you mean.
If you flip this thing faster, like then it's like, well, now these boss group can, or these small groups can take it, own it, and it's not the interesting one that I found out in New World's bizarre, right? In that it's a blob fight to reinforce a town. I don't know if you played it at all, but it's literally like max tie-dye blob fight to reinforce it. But then the contest for ownership is limited to 50 versus 50, which I found really interesting, that you blob the shit out of it for the chance to own it, but then it really comes down to the skill of your best 50 players about who wins the ownership of it. Not that you do that in EVE, right? But it's an interesting concept.
Yeah,
to
I was
think
going to
about.
say it's a weird instance question, right? And you're right. I think someone mentioned to me before. I've not played it. I'm not sure. I think you'd get a lot of frustration in EVE if you did it that way.
No, but it's
an
just
interesting idea.
It's just the concept, right? That things are a bit fast and dynamic, and some things require skill, some things require the blob. I think at some point you've they put instances into PV and all that kind of shit. Yeah, I don't know, Tainted. I think there's a spot for it, right? Well, it is instant based. Everyone can go and PVE in instances, and you can't do jack shit about it.
Well, I think that's the thing.
Controversial as well, right?
Yeah, EVE was never meant to be instance. EVE was always meant to be, single system. Everyone in the one spot.
Single shard, right? That was their entire marketing pitch.
And now that they're adding PVE sites, and they're at sudden, fair enough, Abyssals, you can at least see the trace and camp them.
Proving grounds.
Yeah, but now they're adding more and more where you can't even do the trace. It becomes this, there is, outside of the rats you're fighting, there is no risk for the reward.
Yeah.
So, the kind of proving grounds, I think, are interesting. While conceptually, I still think EVE should be, single shard, right? Not instance. I kind of understand why it exists, because, there will be a group of players that just want to go and, have a fight immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yes,
and
your
so
arena
I
mode,
kind of
right?
understand that, right? Yeah.
I think the other, like, and I think it's interesting. Like, obviously, Eve looked at a whole bunch of other games over the last 5 years to pull concepts from. But I think, like, even New World was interesting to me in the sense that they divorce PvP from crafting, and like, if the town flips,
Back in a sec.
it really it really doesn't have, apart from some extra marginal costs, it has no real impact on you. But the group holding it makes a ton of gold, so that's why the incentive for the PvP groups to keep flipping and fighting it over. But the farmers don't lose anything. And I don't know if there's, I don't know. It's just a retarded. Eve's too slow. Like, it takes too long to do anything.
I'd admit, we'll jump on the show then, Taint. You want to do that? I'm gonna link something. Like I said, I'm really digging. Have you guys seen Rote Capel's new recruitment video? I'm gonna take that as a note. Look, I've linked it in chat. Check it out. It's fucking hilarious. Hey man, thanks for the follow. Yeah, that's right, Tate. I linked it to the chat. Everyone, check out that link. Streamlabs.com/blah blah blah. Rote Capel's recruitment video. It is absolutely amazing. And probably the most on-point thing I've ever seen. Also, I am doing a section with a bit of research into the various groups of EVE Online. I want to do a show that is more sent at some point in the future. If you guys are interested, like, you know, just let me know in the chat. I want to do a show sometime in the future that is more centered around recruitment. Who's out there? Who's recruiting? What do they do? What time zones do they do? And, you know, try to help people find their place in EVE. So we'll see what happens. Ah, fuck, I've got EVE Scout open on that one. I was meant to have local.
I've got a video that I don't know if you've seen, Cal, that needs to be made into a meme.
No. What video?
Loaded. Watch this. Now, watch this video, and you can decide if you want to share it in the chat or not. It's got some very offensive words in it, repeated a lot. But think of the guy in the grey as EUTZ, and then the little girl as USTZ, and then all the yellow things as AUTZ.
I've seen this one. Look, if it's safe for YouTube, then it should be safe for Twitch, so fuck it. There you go. I've seen this one. What are you talking about, you daft bald cunt?
Sorry, this is funnier than the Rote video.
And the many faces of the banned and unbanned again Norris.
Like, I thought I'd managed to go an entire week without a comment like that. I thought I'd managed to go an entire week without seeing a comment like that.
Has Norris ever been banned, or is that all just memes?
I honestly don't know. I keep out of it because it's just easier.
I've never seen proof of it, though. Like, no one's ever really produced proof, I guess, is the question.
I think there was a thing with, like, his original character, right? Which I think is, like, the grain of initial kind of questionable, you know, being questionable. But I don't know the full story.
I mean, I assume if they managed to keep GigX perma-banned across whatever accounts and machines and VPNs, I'm sure there's no...
I mean, it's one of those things, right? It's between him and CCP, right? So
exactly. Alright guys, the TR07 Fortizar is now anchored and repaired without any resistance. And they ended up taking an Eagle fleet to do ADMs in system and bash a irrelevant jump bridge with supers. Carriers, capitals, that's the one. Sorry. My bad. Maybe even shoot a couple of pokers. I think I can see a few things reinforced.
You're that guy in Intel going like, I've got supers tackled, and it's like 3 destroyers.
Oh. There was a video from Test a while back where a guy got his carrier tackled by a red force, and he was cheering because he thought he killed a nightmare, but he didn't realize its name started with Garista. He was like, "Yeah, I killed one of the nightmares." I was like, "No, you killed a rat." Hey guys, just so for those of you who aren't aware, the reason why links aren't allowed to be posted is there was a group of bots going around who would join channels, post a lot of links that were not acceptable by Twitch standards, and will get channels banned, which is why we've disabled link posting. If you got anything you want to link, PM it to me, either via Discord, or if you click my name in chat, you can whisper it to me and I can post it to the chat after I make sure it isn't like to some kind of like revenge porn site that's going to get us booted from Twitch. I think Redline would be rather cranky at me if that happened.
Is he paying you yet?
Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute.
Alright guys, well, you know what, I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a little bit of a moment here to let you know that New Eden Post has a YouTube channel. That's right, New Eden Post on YouTube is a thing. If you would like to see all the vlogs that you are unable to see because of Twitch's "you need to be a subscriber," then within 24 hours of a show finishing, it is uploaded to our YouTube. Now, if we can get 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube, we'll be able to simultaneously simulcast to both YouTube and Twitch, which means that all those videos are no longer subjected to Twitch's 24-hour can't post it anywhere else rule, which means that as soon as that video is finished and we have stopped streaming to YouTube, it'll be live for viewing with, you know, the second we stop streaming. So if you guys can do me a mad solid, and I'd love you all, I'd appreciate it, if you can head over to the New Eden Post YouTube channel, have a look at what we've got on there at the moment, hit the subscribe button for me. It's free to do, helps us out immensely. If we can reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we'll be able to stream over there as well as Twitch. I will link it, one moment. It's somewhere up above in the bot spam. Alright, there it is guys. So look, if you can do us a massive solid, as I said, I would really appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me, and I know it would mean a lot to Redline. If you can head over to the YouTube, hit the subscribe button, where last time I checked we're about 730 subscriptions at the moment, so we're inching our way to that 1,000 that we need to be able to stream on YouTube as well as Twitch and get those videos up straight away instead of having to wait 24 hours. It'd mean a lot to me guys if you could. Anyway, I've done my spiel, I've done my blurb, I've done my, you know, don't forget to like and subscribe and smash that bell. So, what do you reckon, Luke? How long do you reckon you're going to be able to hold out that hell camp for? We were talking about it before you jumped on, and how hell camps have changed in meaning over the years.
Honestly, I don't know, right? I said this earlier on in the show. It's kind of until there's something else that we want to go and do, right? Where holding the camp is kind of like just delaying us to go do something else. I think that's the problem with like hell camps in general, right? Like if you look at the M2 hell camp, it's probably wasn't quite as bad because, you know, it's Titans and Super Ults on a Keep Star, or very close to a Keep Star.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously that's quite a long way off. Right? It's on the gate, so you know you kind of need to have that kind of sub cap kind of force on standby as well. So I think we'll keep it up until there's something else we have to go and do.
You guys, hey Barry, thank you very much for the subscription, mate. Really appreciate it. Thomas as well, thank you very much for the subscription, guys. As I said, wait, did we get a gift sub or something? Why am I seeing a whole bunch of subs? Christopher Bergman.
You asked everyone to sub, so they subbed.
Well, no, it was sub to YouTube. Are they YouTube subs? Okay. Well, that explains why I don't hear Villy going, "Check the fucking sets."
Actually, I was just looking at a Mumble. I think it also depends on how long the line members actually want to do it. Like, I just logged in. There's like 100+ in the Mumble channel for camping that bubble camp. And at this time of day, that's kind of unheard of because that's not on the Chinese side of the Mumble server, right?
Yeah.
So clearly, there's quite a few people that want to sit there and camp it. So,
Well, you guys gonna drop a keep star next to the gate? You know, get the swarm over there, Skynet them across.
I don't remember how far off gate can you even drop a keep star? It's like 1,000.
Yeah, it's 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about 3 cycles of a carrier's fighters.
And have you seen that grid? I don't think there's anywhere to drop anything. Like the other side of that gate for the keep star, there's like a Satio.
I'm streaming from a super taint Astero. I ain't gonna be able to make it into that system without getting caught, so I haven't had a look yet, no.
Yeah, you've kind of got like the keep star in line with the gate, and then on the other side of the gate, you've got like a Satio and various other stuff going further off down that grid.
Okay. I gotta admit, guys, if you guys have never seen it, go take a shuttle, go check out the 1DQ T5Z gate grid. That thing is crazy. Like, they've got all their structures like perfectly cubed in front of the gate. Like,
isn't there like somewhere under the one of the keep stars that you can sit and look at everything because it's a broken grid and no one can see you?
There in 3 Tac D there is. That used to be my eye spot.
1DQ ones does it as well.
It was in the 1DQ constellation. Yeah, it was like that system that we're fighting in a lot and trying to drop the Asbels and stuff. There was a spot I used to just keep my eyes there because I could descan as soon as something came in, but they couldn't see me. And then they moved the fucking keep star to the gate, and that spot became useless. It was great actually. I messaged one of our line members. I'm like, hey dude, I need you to weaponize your autisms and make me a whole bunch of pings all throughout this system. And he did it, and he was like, hey dude, there's a broken spot here. I put a ping there for you. I was like, oh cool. So, you know, I warp to the bookmark. Yeah, everything disappears, but you can...
God bless Gridfoo.
Oh yeah, mate. Look, we've got some absolutely amazing people in test who are so fucking good at Gridfoo and who are so good at making bookmarks.
I think there's some uniqueness around Delve, isn't there? If I remember correctly, it was like one of the original testing regions or something.
Oh man, so do you remember the bubble wrap keep star in NPC Delve?
I do, and I remember the vitriol after it as well.
Yeah, so I was one of the ones who Progon messaged me and a couple other people and went, right, I need these, I need bookmarks at this interval, this space around the keep star. And I was like, okay. And he's like, go do it now. And I was like, oh fuck. So I fitted up the Amar fucking data ship. Fuck, what's it called?
Anathema?
No, not that one. No, the frigate. Hang on, I've got fucking Eve open. Anyway, so
Magnate.
something like where is it, son of a bitch? Thing with the hook nosed Anathema.
That's what I fucking said.
Did you? I thought you said Astero.
It's an Anathema.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Fitted up an Anathema, hyperspatials, all that kind of shit to get as much speed out of it as I could. And we ended up getting 3-4 other people to come give us a hand. The fourth one, as anyone knows who's ever done labor job, basically went, yeah, I'll help, and never showed up.
Probably slow boating his avatar from Esoteria or something.
Look, I would not have put it past him. So the 3 of us did it. We needed them to be 50 kilometers from the keep star and 70 kilometers between each other. Or was it 50 kilometers between each other? And keeping it ranged didn't work because it would pull you too close to the keep star to be able to make the perfect sphere. It took us about 3.5-4 hours to make those bookmarks, drop them in a pack, and then send them over to the guys who were warping between them. And they ended up designating grids because we named each one, you know, like A1, A2, A3 for the center ring. And then it went all the way to the point at the direct top middle and the direct bottom of the keep star. And then, so they ended up getting like DSTs or something full of large anchorable bubbles and going, all right, you go, and then working out the pattern to go without getting stuck in a bubble. There's videos out there of it, and it looks amazing when it was online. Like, I hated that 4 hours of bookmark work, but fuck me, when sitting there in my Dread watching those bubbles go online, it was well worth it. And after that, and the second one with the T5Z Keepstar, we were ready to bubble wrap that one. Never had to though, because it was uncontested. So to those guys who do the bubble foo for FCs, who do, not bubble foo, who do the grid foo, who do the bookmark, you guys are absolute fucking heroes. Unsung fucking champions of Eve. His name is William Chen, is one of them, and keep up the good work, guys. We can't do it without you. I take it you guys have got people like that in your alliances, yeah? You're like, I need bookmarks of this system, and then they just come back and they've got them.
Yeah, I think everyone's got people that have that level of weaponized.
We just let other people do it.
Just warp to them, save their bookmarks. Yeah, but
well, you just let you guys do it, and then give us the bookmark back afterwards.
Oh, Sandrin's wall
PGL,
spots.
can we have access to your bookmark folder, please?
Actually, Malachi, you know that grid that we were fighting the fort on? I'm gonna send you a screenshot here in Discord. This was one of our FC's bookmark packs for that grid. Send it to you too, Luke.
You should take them out the back and shoot them.
Yeah.
Is it that bad?
I sent it to you on. I sent it to you on Discord.
Oh god!
If you've got the mildest form, like the mildest form of OCD ever, that's still not acceptable.
I mean, I hope I just don't have to find anything in like the top left of that grid.
Well, apparently most of it was they were scanning down during the armor timer and warping to where the fleets were warping. So a bunch of those. So it's like personal bookmarks plus enemy fleet bookmarks plus whatever other bookmarks like corpses.
Plus, there was a random can there at some point, so I'm gonna walk to it and bookmark it.
Oh, you're just gonna right-click bookmark it. Fuck every rack.
The FC in question posted that to the FC channel, and he's like, "It's right, no one will ever see this," so I pinned it. So all our FCs throughout the history will see it and be like, "What the fuck is that?" That's pretty crazy. Well, you guys got any other topics or any other? Is this a retarder or is this a good idea for the show or?
No, I'm fresh out.
And I've got loads, but it's too early in the morning to articulate them.
Well, I've hit up Redline to see if I can get you guys portraits because you're on every Saturday, so you definitely deserve a portrait. My wayward co-host, who apparently is always too busy, he's on less than you guys, for God's sake.
If you message Mav, I think he's already got one of me from Trash Talk Thursday. Save Redline the effort.
Yeah. Nah, I'll hit up Redline.
Fair.
I mean, I'm getting him subscribers for his YouTube channel, and also if you haven't yet, check out our YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. But I suck at that kind of stuff. Where's the PL recruitment video? Look, if PL makes a really good recruitment video like the Rote one and sends it to me, look, I'm on the Cesspool, New Eden Post, Talking in Stations, Discord, as well as the CSM and Eve Down Under Discord, so you can find me pretty easy to shoot me a message. If you got a funky, cool recruitment video that you want me to post, I'll do it. I may be test, but when I'm hosting this show, it's my own opinions, my own views, and I'm neutral. So, I mean, still Gurns, but I think that's everyone's opinion. Oh, I gotta admit, Did you guys watch that? If you guys didn't watch that video that I posted, there is one point when the cops rock up in the music clip and someone's put Delft Police on the side. And this Sheila walks out of the cop car and it's Obusky. And it's like Delft Police is, oh my god, it was amazing. I laughed so bloody hard when I saw that.
Actually, I remember that video. It was good. That was a good video.
The Rote Capel recruitment video, yeah. with the many names of Norris's characters, Norris's cat. How am I not banned yet? You know.
I'm sure that's not one of his character names.
I know. I think it was like somebody who just could come up with one of them.
just a meme, right?
Is he still flying Nexian? Nextorian or whatever it was?
Yeah, to be fair, he hasn't been in game that much, to be honest.
Too busy yelling at everyone and firing your CNTZFC team.
Taking like the approach of some of the other block leaders of kind of Discord Online.
Actually, I have a question for you, both of you, actually, Malachi and Luke, in whatever capacity you can answer this. CSM's coming up. Do you guys have any people either in NC Dot or in fraternity that you're going to be endorsing, that you're going to be backing, that you would like to, give a shout out to?
I'll let Malachi go first if he wants to.
No. CSM seems like the most pointless thing in the world, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that's my personal point of view. I'm sure I'm just like at a block. I guess you're a block if you can afford to fucking get a CSM member in, right? That's probably the answer to that question. Solved. Not a block until you can fucking brute force a CSM member in.
Does that not mean that like Horde are the only block then? Because I think they're the only ones that have done it through like round 1 immediate allocation.
Oh, with Gobbins, yeah, that was crazy. Gobbins and Brisk, I think, were straight in.
Goons have done a couple.
I think we did it with Maria as well, right?
Yeah, like CSM is literally a waste of time. Like ProGod had every intention of like, I can change these guys.
Yeah,
and then 9 months in, it's like, I'm gonna go snowboarding. Fuck these guys.
But that's probably going in with the wrong approach as well, right? You're kind of going in with the, I'm gonna change their minds. You're onto a bit of a loser day one, I think.
I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, I've affected more change in this game. I'm sure of it. Like just like at Eve Down Under, having a chat to a dev, like it's quite powerful, I guess. But fuck me, it's just like, why have a CSM if it's just fucking dickheads getting voted in? Like, I'm the respectable guy in the community, and you can tell me everything, and I'm going to pass it on. But you've got no practical experience. It's just fucking retarded.
Yeah. So I'll take that as a no. You've got no one that you know who's going for it, or do you want to endorse in Malachi?
That is my endorsement to any shit kicker who's running for it.
What about you, Luke? You got anyone from Winterco?
Nobody that we know at the moment. I have a couple of people trying to convince me to run. I'm not entirely sure if I've got the energy for it. Oh, enough, like in real life. But no, nobody else has kind of come forward. I know we've had a couple of people that have been interested in the past, and there's been complexities around things like passports, especially when it's been like some of the Chinese community and stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know where to get into that one, because that's a whole other subject.
Oh yeah, let's keep the real life politics of the other CCP out of the debate.
Yeah, exactly right. But it'll be interesting to see who pops up in the next kind of couple of months. I expect people will start poking around now.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Villy about it, and that's what piqued my interest, because he's like, if anyone's getting interested to do it, now's the time to start getting out there, get your face out there, get people to take notice. So I thought I'd start hitting groups up and being like, hey, look, who's your CSM member? Is there anyone you want to shout out? I don't know who Test is going with either, actually. I think it's still pretty early for us at the moment. Whenever I bring it up, it's just kind of met with blank faces. So
it's going to be an interesting year, right? Because there's a lot of people that can't run this year.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Because, yeah, as you said, Goblins, Nominate, Villy, Merc, Brisk, I believe as well.
Brisk, no, because he took a year out, didn't he? So I think Brisk has got another year he can do.
Well, still, that's still like at least 4 that I'm tracking. God, I sound like Villy. 4 that I know of that are unable to run. And granted, now 2 of those are in Horde, Villy and Goblins. Kenneth as well. Okay, yeah. Kenneth.
I think you'll find it'll probably be a much more interesting election from the point of view that Pappy with its full coordination could leverage X amount, but with that having been practically, virtually non-existent anymore and groups divided, like Fraternity's not putting anyone from Horde on their list and so forth.
We won't know until the pings go out, will we?
Well, yeah, but there's probably some assumptions there that go that weaken your block's voting capacity. So if you've got a organised block, or it might let some other groups get a foot in the door, maybe. But
I'm considering it.
I'm going to bounce, but my kind of final thought on that one is I think it'll be really interesting to compare like this CSM or the upcoming CSM with the CSM of the last couple of years once you've got the full rotation.
Yeah.
And see if, like, with so many different people there that you start to see different things come to the fore. It'll be interesting to see. Probably not, but I don't know. Right, guys, I'm going to have to run, so have a good
You too, mate. Thank you very much for hopping on, Luke. It's always good to have you.
See you later.
Yeah, see you later, guys.
Yeah, look, I think this year's going to be a year where, a lot more people are going to have a chance to get in because all the old favourites aren't going to. It's going to be interesting to see who hit 3 years the year before last and who took last year off and who are going to reapply this year. So I think it's going to be interesting. CSM's going to get pretty spicy. As I said, I'm even thinking of tossing my hat in a ring just to see what I can get.
The pessimist in me goes, all those people who have expired their 3 years are just going to be replaced by someone exactly the same as them from the same block.
George Bush Sr. and George Bush Jr., you mean?
Yeah. I was incredibly disappointed that rule is take 1 year off and then come back for another 3 years. They should have been way harsher on it to keep some fresh blood running through that.
Yeah.
But because the fact that all those guys are going to take a year off and then come back and just look at me go for another 3 years.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Reasonably weak.
Alright, Malachi. Anyway. I think I might actually call it dude. It's
I've run out of rum. I need to go downstairs and water some down out of the still, I think.
Look, Malachi, thanks for hopping on. Hopefully next week I'll have your portrait for you.
Sick. Can I choose my portrait picture?
It's usually just a recording of whatever your character is at the moment, like the idle animation. Cool. So just that way it sits around and it moves and it's not static.
Yeah, that's all good. All right, man. Good chat.
I'll catch you later. Alright guys, look, thank you very much, chat, for watching and tuning into Serious Slander Saturday. Thank you very much to those of you who subscribe to our YouTube. If you haven't yet, I'd really appreciate it if you would go to the New In Post YouTube, which I'm about to link in the chat, and just toss us a cheeky little subscribe. Once we can get to 1,000, we'll be able to post on YouTube, and instead of having to wait 24 hours to a week before we can post the videos for the VOD, so you don't have to subscribe to Twitch, which is a paid. YouTube is free. It's a free button, guys, to be able to get them up there. So look, thanks guys. I'm Kale. You've been absolutely amazing, as always. I love having you guys and chat with me. The communication, the questions, and even even if you're not comfortable enough to hop on Discord and chat, which is always open to you guys, just having you guys talk in chat, shoot questions and opinions and views across. I fucking love it. You guys make this worthwhile for me. Sorry man, we're finishing up. It's been 2 hours. But guys, look, you're the real unsung heroes of these streams. The line members, Logi, the links, you guys in chat. Thank you very much. You make this possible for me to do this every Saturday. You make me want to do this every Saturday. So thank you very much, guys. Absolutely appreciate it. You're all fucking awesome. I'm Kale. This was Serious Slander Saturday, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Fly safe out there, guys.